Well, when you fly out of the Nashville airport, you can know that parking can be difficult and expensive.
Yeah, I just got back from a trip myself. Tough to see all the charges that you can rack up. A lot to get to here at 6 o'clock. We're glad you're joining us. I'm Hunter Hoagland.
And I'm Kelsey Gibbs. Several businesses near the airport offer special deals to folks who are looking for a place to park their car and maybe save a little money. But a couple from Kentucky told our investigative reporter Jennifer Krause that their park and fly experience was anything but easy or cheap.
Before flying to Florida,
we left our car there.
Al and Bev Amstutz spent the night at the Cambria Hotel near the airport as part of the hotel's Park, Sleep, and Fly package, which gave them a one-night stay plus up to 10 days of free parking at the hotel while they were traveling. When they returned to Nashville this past Saturday,
I said the car was parked right there.
Their car was nowhere to be found.
And I said, I'm starting to feel really funny about this. I assumed it probably was stolen.
So they went inside to the front desk looking for answers.
And she said, your car has been towed.
And they learned they weren't the only ones. 15 other hotel guests' vehicles had also been hauled away. Was there anything that led you to believe that you shouldn't be parking there? Were there any signs that said you could be towed?
No.
Al and Bev were in shock. Then came the sticker shock. The tow company said it was going to cost more than $640 to get their car back. They figured the hotel manager would help get it all straightened out.
Well, I'm sorry, the manager's out of town and I can't do anything about it.
But the hotel, they say, was no help at all.
I said, call the manager. Call the manager.
He wouldn't talk with us. He said, tell him I'll talk to him Monday morning.
Yeah, Monday.
And this, remember, was Saturday night. It's not like you live in Nashville that you could just go home for the night, right?
Right,
no.
right.
They live in central Kentucky, nearly 3 hours away. So they asked for a room, but were told the hotel was full. And the clerk, they say, suggested they just hang out there in the lobby.
They didn't care that we didn't have a place to go.
We stayed in the hotel lobby overnight.
Yeah, and she's on a walker, and I'm 78 years old. She's 75 years old. We're without a car. They're unwilling to put us up anywhere.
It is the most ridiculous, absurd thing I've ever heard of.
Al and Bev's daughter Michelle didn't learn what had happened until the next morning.
I mean, I can't even imagine. You've got these two elders sitting in your lobby all night long, and you're just okay. I mean, they're sitting right in front of the desk guy.
Michelle insisted they pay to get their car back and come back home.
Nobody ever apologized to us.
When we talked with them, they were finally back in Kentucky.
Okay, that's the Cambria.
But Al agreed to show us where he'd park.
There's the sign pointing towards where we're supposed to park.
And as he directed us, we followed a series of park and fly signs until...
See that red car on your right?
He spotted where he says the hotel told him to park. The Cambria and the Avid Hotel next door are owned by the same company, and both use this area for park and fly guests. The problem is apparently a lot of those guests were parking over here beyond the park and fly area in this lot that's connected to the park and fly area, but owned by the building over there next door. The owners of that building tell me they'd been asking the hotel managers for months to have their guests park elsewhere. And when that didn't happen, the building owners tell me they warned the hotel managers they were going to start towing.
I just feel like the hotel should be accountable for this, and they haven't even at least offered an apology. Nothing.
By Monday afternoon, Bev and Al still hadn't heard from anyone at the Cambria. So we went to find the manager.
The neighbors decided that all of a sudden, and I was in the tow without telling anybody they're going to tow.
John Johnson insisted he was as surprised as anyone about the cars being towed.
I'm sorry it happened. I really am.
But what about Saturday night?
If we weren't sold out, we would have given them a room here. But being sold out, we didn't have any. You know, they were welcome to get their car, go somewhere else.
They couldn't get their car. It was in the tow lot.
We could. Their tow lot is open 24 hours.
Right, but they were told they had to pay $650.
That's unfortunate.
Johnson showed us the new chain barrier he just had installed to prevent guests from parking in the neighboring lot. And as for the guests whose cars were towed,
I'm dealing with each one case by case to try to make it right with every single one of the people, because the worst thing we want is bad press and for somebody to not come back.
Now, he asked Johnson if he was going to pay the tow charges for all these guests. He just wouldn't agree to that. He told me he was offering them things like a free night stay coupon, or that he'd cover the cost of the guest's original stay, which is what he did with the Amstutses. The thing is, they paid $181 for their room, while their tow bill was more than 3 times that.
It is just such a maddening story, right? And you get in late, it's already frustrating, you're ready to go home, and then you see your car is towed. Just the frustration you would feel out there.
Can you imagine?
No. Well,
Yeah.
Jen, we know that you, of course, were going to stay on top of this for us and update us, of course, with anything else